One of the techniques that I used to overcome procrastination when I was quite young, when I first started up my business, I found it very, very daunting, and if I'm honest, I got myself into all kinds of trouble because I just wasn't putting my full oomph into it. Often in the evenings I could be found flicking through channels on the TV because it would just help me not think about the stuff that I should have been doing, I should have been putting myself into. And that just wasn't, I just was finding that I would just keep putting stuff off and putting it off and procrastinating about it and so on and so forth. And I just wasn't motivated enough to get off my backside and do things enough. One of the patterns, an NLP technique that fits in really well with self-hypnosis is the swish pattern. And by that, what I'm talking about is that you take yourself into hypnosis, take yourself into a nice deep state of hypnosis and put an image of you doing the procrastinating behavior. So see yourself doing something. For me, I had a picture of my hand, the remote control, sat in front of the telly. Okay, that was it. That was representative for me of me procrastinating and not doing what it is that I should have been doing. Put that image off to one side for a moment and then create an image of you doing the new behavior, taking action, being motivated, driven, inspired, whatever it is that you needed to do. So for me, I saw myself sat on my computer, writing my books, creating my audio programs, doing my Eason. For anybody for any of you that do get my Eason, that's 2.5 to 5,000 words every single week that I write in my Eason. That I then add then it gets published, you guys get to read it. At the same time, it then formulates a bigger part of my work, and I'll add some research to it, add some other bits. And gradually, generally I end up with about 5,000 words of new material every single week that will go and form part of my next book, part of my next audio program. So all the time I'm doing various different things that's feeding into my work. But I imagined the new image was of me typing at my computer, and that there were pound signs coming off it, there was a big cheesy grin on my face, I was feeling good about myself, and there was lots of other things that were personal to me in there as well. So then what you do, inside of your self-hypnosis session, you have this big negative image of the old procrastinating behavior, and you take the positive image and shrink it down to a small square and put it in the bottom right-hand corner of the negative image. And then what you do is you start to swap them so that this one begins to dominate the other one and smashes it out of the way. And so what I did is, over the period of about half an hour, I did this about 10 times, just switching them and imagining that every time I got the positive image to be big, and in my mind I would make it more colourful, I'd make it more vibrant, I'd add more positive feelings. And I would imagine that it was obliterating all the last remnants of that old image, that old behaviour. So inside my mind I was imagining that my mind's becoming more and more wired up to this new one. And I did it time and time again. Inside therapy sessions, you'll generally tend to find that NLP practitioners or hypnotherapists or even certain psychotherapists will just do this, say, 3 times and think that that's going to be enough. I did it hundreds of times one particular day, and now I can guarantee that even if I'm at a friend's house and they happen to have the telly on, I start having an association of thinking, I'd feel really good if I was sat doing some work right now. And I know Keith joked around yesterday that he thinks I'm a bit of a workaholic because I do work all kinds of hours. That is changing, by the way. My future wife there's a chance she might be watching this. That's changing. But there's a lot of these various different aspects where I really, really enjoy what I'm doing. I get enormous pleasure out of doing it because I've gradually over the time associate it with getting on. It fulfills my altruistic tendencies. It's earning me a good living. It's helping me with a whole range of different things that I've associated with in my mind that I've all done for myself. Now, I didn't see a therapist to do any of this stuff. I did it all myself in self-hypnosis sessions using those kinds of techniques. Any questions on anything like that? Of course, you can begin to. Sorry, Richard. Did I
I was just going to say your Eason is really great. I enjoy reading it every time I read it. Thank you.
Thank you. Good. Good. For anyone watching at home, do you hear that? Okay. One of the techniques that